Have you ever tried to code an app, but you've never actually figured out how to do it? Well, with the rise of artificial intelligence, that is now possible. And I thought I would do a little bit of a different video today by actually showing you how to go from something like this, which is the Lovable UI, to a completely interactive web app that analyzes survey data from employees and then uses artificial intelligence to be able to tell employers where their company is going. I'm going to build it with you step by step. I'm also going to include all of the prompts that I'm using for this project so that you can recreate it. And at the end of this project, hopefully if it works, I'm actually going to give you projects. That's all available down below. Let's get started. I also want to be mindful of it's about 2:48 p.m. My kids, I got to pick them up at about 5. So hopefully we could get this thing coded in literally an hour and 22 minutes. Now, before we get started, I got to tell you a couple things. First off, AI coding tools have come a huge way literally in the last year. First one that I really saw was something called Cursor.ai. There's a bunch of other tools out on the market right now that are doing really well. The one that I'm currently using right now is lovable.dev. There's bolt.new. There's a bunch of others that you want to be able to go and check out. I'm using lovable.dev. This will probably work on any of those tools. And right now, this is kind of the first iteration of those tools. So hopefully within the next 6 months, realistically, these tools are going to become a lot easier in order to use. And I want to be able to code this live. So what I've done is I've built a version of this app, which is here. Basically, what I told this AI was, give me every single prompt that you need in order to be able to recreate this app. So that's the experiment that I'm going to run today. Again, the prompts are going to be available to you so that you can access them anyways. And you can speak to this AI just like any other human being would in plain English, and it will understand and turn that into code. You're going to need 2 tools for this. You're going to need lovable.dev, and you can go down below and click the link to get access to that. I think I'm paying something like $25 per month for that. You also are going to need access to a backend, and a lot of this stuff you can start off for free, but the one that I'm working with that integrates beautifully with Lovable is Superbase. So you get access to Superbase. Again, that's probably about $50 per month or something like that. So it's under $100 per month for this entire technology stack in order to be able to build this out. The first very prompt that I'm going to give you is very simple. Prompt number 1 is, I want to build an anonymous employee feedback application called FeedbackFlow that helps companies track employee satisfaction and task completion. The app should protect user privacy while providing valuable insights into company leadership. This app will use Superbase for its authentication and backend database management, and then it's giving you all of the metrics kind of connected to that. You don't really need all of these details because Lovable will fill that in, but I specifically asked Lovable to give me very specific instructions so that we could recreate this. So let's try it. No, looks like I clicked on it like 4 or 5 times, but I think it will get it. It's processing now. Building out V1, and it's just building the visual elements now, basically the front end of the application. Also, I have a big cup of tea. I'm hopeful this makes it all the way to the end, that I don't run out of tea beforehand. It's putting together the feedback form components. A lot of this stuff I'll just kind of speed up for you guys. Updating the main index page, building the CSS, the front end. And again, I'm not a developer, right? Like, I'm a marketer by trade. Okay, very cool. So now it looks like we have an index page. We have total feedback, average satisfaction, departments 0. Looks like it has the different departments that you can choose from, your satisfaction level, your anonymous feedback, and then you submit that particular piece of feedback. This is great, great start. And again, pulling in all of the different features and how it applies. Now let's get to the next step here. Now I want to be able to create a database using Superbase. So what I want to be able to do, and this is going to be a very long prompt. Again, this is what Lovable was doing, and you'd be doing this in certain different sections, but you want to be able to build a backend, and I'll show you how that works. So backends are like databases, basically just kind of like big Excel spreadsheets that have all of the information connected to a particular database. And in this one, we want to be able to create user ID, name, job role, department, customer department, your company ID, your avatar, the actual company ID. So if you're signing up a company, company members, feedback form, all of that information. And then we need to set up Superbase. So what you do is you go into your Superbase integration documents, you go connect to a project, and then you say create a new project. So I've already logged in here. Basically, it's very simple to be able to sign up. They have the Superbase integration docs there, but create a new project. And we'll call this project Feedback AI 2. And we'll just have a very small amount of processing power, database password, which I think, all right, that one's good enough. And create new project. And now that's going to create a brand new project. And we'll wait for that to load. It's currently setting up the new project. Okay, brand new backend is all set up. So we can go back over here. We can say Superbase is connected. Do you see the backend? Do you see the backend? Question mark. You want to be able to confirm things with the AI from time to time. It just so that it confirms that it actually is connected. Again, you can just kind of communicate those tables and set up an RLS policies. All right, so let's stop them from doing that, because actually what I want it to do is set up my own RLS policies and my own database. So I'm going to create an authentication system. Actually, no, they already told me to do that. I'm way smarter than this thing. Yes, please set everything up for me. And again, I kind of like the color. Maybe we'll change it later. I'm a bit of a marketer, so for me, it's one of those things that I think to myself, oh, okay, I want to be able to have this look like this or like that, but it really doesn't matter if it actually is a valuable app that works. Okay, next steps would be, next steps. Let's just have it confirm that it actually did do what I wanted it to do, which is here. Just copy and paste this. To confirm, have you set all this up? Now, sometimes you're actually going to get this, which is your error logs. And this is a server error, which means that the server API you're trying to communicate with is not working properly. So you can click on this, you can copy it. It looks like I'm getting an error log that tells me you can't fix this. Is that true? How can I help? And again, you're just kind of communicating back and forth with this thing because it's picking up error logs. I'll show you something else as well that you can do to be able to make sure that all of this stuff is working properly. I see the issue. The error is occurring because the Superbase URL in the configuration is still using a placeholder value instead of your actual Superbase project. Let's fix this by updating the Superbase client project. You can find these values in your Superbase project settings under, okay, so we have to go back into there. Find these values in your Superbase project settings under project settings, API, copy the URL, and then the public API key. All right, let's try to do that. Can you help me with this? Why not, right? Okay, we need to go in and find the integration docs inside of Lovable. We need to go to the project, connect Superbase to Lovable, adding authentication, initial setup, storing data with Superbase, storing secrets with Superbase, edge functions. So let's go back to the they were giving us before. Superbase project settings under project settings API. Project settings API. Project settings API, real-time API. Copy the API key. Go back to Lovable. Here is the API key. What else do you need from me? Again, I don't know any of this stuff, right? Like, that's an API key. I know it connects to the backend API through Superbase, but I have no idea how the hell they're setting this up. For security reasons, it's best not to share the API. Instead, let's use Lovable's secure way of handling Superbase connections. First, please delete that message with the API key. For security, use Lovable's native Superbase integration by clicking on the Superbase menu at the top right of the interface. Follow the connections Superbase. Let's go connect. See, and I didn't even know what I was doing. Boom, we're connected. All right, let's go back into the project dashboard here inside of Superbase. And let's go to authentication. And this is really important to make sure, you know what? I might actually deal with that later. Let's, just gonna paste this. Nope, that's the API key again. Gonna go back to here. So I basically said, let's create an authentication system with login signup page using AuthUI, which uses email and password. It's currently writing the code to be able to do that. And since this is connected to the SQL database, it looks like you have to basically approve those changes every single time. Have I read any of this code? No, I haven't. Am I going to click apply changes? Absolutely. All right, so it looks like we've done the authentication and we've got an error here. Build error, property feedback does not exist on type profiles, row profile insert. I think that's okay because we're actually building profiles preemptively. Let's go into the authentication providers. Now, one of the things that I learned here is you want to be able to remove this, confirm your email. So switch that off. And the reason why you want to confirm email switched off when you're building it is because to do QA testing, like quality assurance, and actually testing the app, you don't want to actually have to be able to confirm your email every single time when you log in. Okay. Confirm email, click save. Then it should save. So now we can just put in whatever we want and we don't need email authentication in order for it to be able to actually work. Now, in general, whenever we have these error messages, I try to actually fix them immediately. And sometimes you have to refactor the code, which essentially just means like breaking stuff down into smaller pieces. Because if code is too long, then it just doesn't work properly. And then you break it down into smaller pieces of code and it's easier to understand. See, there you go. For developing purposes, you might need to disable email verification in Superbase console to make testing easier. You can see here, now I have an actual sign-up form, which is pretty darn cool. Build error, property name does not exist on type any. That's okay for right now. Let's go back into the code and let's move on to the next page because we actually want to build an index page. Prompt here. All right. Now, this is going to I'm going to explain it to you. We're going to create an index page with basically the main page of a website, and it's going to have nice little animation like we had before. It's going to have a subheading. You're going to be able to have features cards, which is going to give you more information on what it is, and then a specific call to action inside of that. And usually, ironically, the stuff that's the fastest is to actually build out the front ends first, because it's just so easy on Lovable. But then the back end is also really interesting as well. Let's see what we have here. That's okay. It's the same error we had before. So let's go and find out the index page. Weird. Let's try if we can fix that. Again, for me, it's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm kind of just aimlessly moving through the dark here. And you can have a web app in a couple hours. That's good. Got an onboarding page. Do we have an index page? No, we don't. It's pushing us back to login. I'm getting the same error twice. It seems like I can't load the index page. There may be an issue here. Here are the error logs. We grab the error logs from here, copy and paste. And then here are the console logs. And then we go into developer tools and we go to console view. Now, console view is basically just like what's happening when you're loading a page. Just for context here. So let's grab this and then click exit and run it again. One of the things that I realized is that the vast majority of actually building or writing software is basically just fixing bugs. It's like 10% writing code, 90% fixing bugs. And I didn't truly understand that from the engineering team until I actually started doing stuff like this, where it was like, oh, it's just literally like bashing your head against the wall, trying to fix these stupid little errors. And it's way more difficult, obviously, if you don't know what the hell you're doing. All right, so let's see. Go to index page. Come on, baby. Whoa, we almost had it. I don't know why that's flashing. Let's actually just load it up in a brand new page. Don't have an account? Sign up. Let's do some kind of sign up. Invalid API key. Okay. Doesn't seem to be working. We go back here. And I'll say 2 problems as I see them now when I'm doing QA. 1, the index page keeps pushing back to the login page, and I only see the index page for a fraction of a second. Index page should be accessible to all users, whether they are logged in or not. 2, there is an API error when I try to sign up for an account. Boom. And again, you can just speak to this software like it's a human being and it will do the work for you. So you're addressing 2 issues at once. I also found out too that it's the amount of queries, the prompts that you make inside of this app that defines how much you pay. And so make less prompts, but make them more complete, essentially, if you don't want to pay more. But again, we're talking like $25, $50 per month. Again, we're going to make these changes, looks like to the database, apply changes. Implemented to fix the authentication flow. All right, let's try it again. Invalid API key. Okay. Hey, look at that. Cool. And I love the rainbow view. That's super cool. All right. Solved the first problem with the index page. Did not solve the sign up page issue. Also, I would like a floating header with sign up, sign in plus all other main page links at the top of the page. Because why not, right? Hey, there we go. Could you share any error messages you're seeing during sign up? This will help us diagnose and fix the specific issue. All right, let's go back to get started. It's not gonna work. Let's go to sign up. Let's type in oh, whoops, sign up. All right, clicking sign up. Failed to execute JSON, a response body stream already read. Is what I'm getting below the sign up. Also, here is the console logs. Again, go back to developer tools. Go to console logs. Grab this. If it's helpful. Bam. There's an issue with the authentication flow and the login component. Properly handling the authentication state and error messages. Okay. Please go to the Superbase dashboard and add your application's URL to the allowed redirect URLs and site URLs. This is how simple this stuff is. It's like, what is this? Who knows? Authentication settings. Please go to the Superbase dashboard and add your application's URLs to the following. What's my application's URL? That wasn't even proper grammar or spelling, but I'm sure it'll probably figure it out because it understands the context of what I just said. Bing! There we go. Save. And then redirect URLs. URLs that auth providers are permitted to redirect to post authentication. Wildcards are also allowed, for example. Add URL. Okay, let's try that. I think I just did it. I added the URL to the site URL function, site URL section in Superbase. Should I also add the same URL to the redirect, or are we good? Okay. Whoops. This one. And this one. Save URLs. Saved. Perfect. Let's try it again. Sign up. Between the Superbase API keys being used, we have two different Superbase client configurations with different API keys. The indication is let's fix this by consolidating the Superbase client configuration into a single file. Amazing. I don't know what that means. Probably that maybe we confused it and we have multiple Superbase backends. We might want to consider fixing this. Sign up. Login is quite long. You might want to consider factoring it into smaller components for better. Let me know if you'd like me to help with that refactoring. Should we fix the current login problem or refactor? I am seeing this error log. Now that data schema triggers are properly set up, let's try the sign up process again. All right, sign up. Hey! Look at that. It works. Looks like it works, but after I signed up, I was brought back to the index page. I should be brought to an onboarding page, plus the header section didn't change to what? To reflect me already signed up as a user. Bing, bang, boom. Looks like we've got functionality. Great. Let's refactor. Generally, you're not supposed to refactor until you solve the problem, because you might just be making the problem a lot worse, from what the engineering team in the tech companies that I work with have told me. Okay, now let's move on to the next page. Company management. All right, so let's create a company management system. This basically allows you to be able to create a company creation form, input fields for company name, all that kind of stuff. Company members page, so there'd be a members page where I can actually see which users are under my company, and then an invite system with a dynamic URL system so that you could send a specific URL to your team members and then they could sign up specifically for that. Apply changes. Looks like we have multiple errors. Here are the error logs. Resolve the build errors while maintaining the existing application's functionality. Let's hope so. All right, let's see. Do we have an index page? Yes. Create your company name. Fuckboy Corp is a perfect name. Company created successfully. You've been redirected to the members page. All right. My name, William Martin. Select your role. Engineer. I should say on the onboarding page, the job role drop down doesn't seem to be working properly. Also, it's missing executive/administrative as a category. Administrative. Select your department. Ooh, job role. No. Engineering. Let's call me engineering. The job role and department drop down doesn't seem to be working properly. In department, and then complete profile. Profile was updated successfully. Welcome to the platform. Why do we get pushed back here? Also, the create company section should be integrated inside of the initial sign up form unless you've been sent a link to sign up under another company. Fix the job role and department dropdowns by properly handling the value of prop in the select channels. Added executive administrative. Better integrated the company creation section into the form. Made the company section show by default unless there's an invite. Improved the UI layout of the validation form. Company. Onboarding. Drop downs still don't work. When I click on them, I can see them. see the options, but I can also see the text in the drop-down form, which doesn't look good. Can you make a background of the drop-downs a solid white, so no text can be seen behind it, and or some other fix to solve this problem? Right there I gave it my theoretical solution, plus also opened it up to any other theoretical solutions that I could think of, because maybe my idea sucks. It probably does, to be completely honest with you. This is a common issue that can be fixed by adjusting the background opacity and the index of drop-down content. Amazing. Proper styling to prevent text from showing through. I've added specific CSS classes to update. Okay, let's see. Hey, there we go. Amazing. Let's change that. Remove add custom department as the other section should solve for that. Also, just add company to the form naturally. You could have a section, i.e. remove wait for company invite as an option from the onboarding form. Additionally, the section where I see my email address in the top right hand corner should be clickable for a personal profile page where all my information is accessible and editable. Let's do that. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's try to fix that. But that looks pretty good. And look, it's also active now, which is amazing. Leah Martin, engineer, engineering. We just got it because we removed custom department functionality, and now it's just saying that there's an error that they're seeing custom function. Yeah, they're still seeing that reference, so we need to get rid of that. Can you remove that reference from everywhere? Is there anywhere else that reference is seen in the code base? So sometimes looks like Lovable will not really figure this out. So they'll remove like the its custom department form function from a specific section, but it will only do it for the onboarding form, but it won't remove it in other places. And that's a problem. Okay. Is boom mentioned anywhere else in the code base, as it could be an issue as we removed it from the onboarding section. So I'm just going to ask this in a different way. And again, it just kind of allows for it to think in different ways. I don't see any remaining references. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's go on to the next stage. I'm going to try to kind of speed this up if we can. Here's the feedback system. So what this section does is it allows you to be able to create a feedback submission system with happening slider index, task completion checkbox, text feedback area, navigation buttons between steps, progress indicators, success confirmation toast, and form reset after submission. And I wanted to make sure that there's anonymous data storage, because the concept of this is if you give this app out to somebody, they can give you their real opinion of what's going on inside of the business, and they won't get in trouble for it because you'll be asking the AI to analyze this data. So no one internally will actually be asking this. Again, this is just an idea that I got actually from the Running Remote community, which is pretty cool. Looks like we've already created companies, company invites, feedback profiles. That's super cool. Great. Did you do it yet? Sometimes it also gets kind of like caught up on things. Into the index page below the hero section. Oof. Nope, that's not what we wanted. I think we're coming up against a fundamental bug here. We have a create your company page. Since we no longer need that page because we're collecting that information during the initial onboarding, can we remove it completely from the app? Because we don't need a create company page because we're already doing that inside of the profile page. You need to also think about how to kind of like structure these apps so that they're easy to navigate. Okay. When I click on give feedback, let's just double check here. Interesting. Forget about that. Looks looks like when I load any page, I'm brought back to company, which doesn't make sense because we just deleted that page. Can you look through the code base and fix the redirects or any other referencing of the company page? Hopefully this works. It should not redirect to onboarding unless they haven't filled out their profile details. I have filled out my profile details and I should be redirected to the analysis page. And again, just coming up with the schema of like where should users go and what should they do is something that Lovable currently doesn't really figure out from a human component, and you have to unfortunately redirect it in the right, put it in the right direction. Logic to check both is onboarding. Okay, interesting. Engineer, designer, marketing, Upboard Corp, complete onboarding. Oh, there we go. All right. Yes. Please refactor. Because that's fixed. Let's go through the different pages here. Nope. Exist on type profile. Fix that. Sweet. All right. Looks like it's working. Now let's put in this next section. All right. Create the feedback submission system. Which exists in the UI under the give feedback section with multi-step feedback, happiness level 1 to 5, happiness level slider at work 1 to 5, task completion text box. Did you do what you were supposed to do last time you checked in? Text feedback area. What challenges are you having at work? Be as honest as you can and give me at least a paragraph of feedback so I can analyze how to best you. Navigation buttons between steps, progress indicator, success confirmation toast, form reset after submission. Boom. Privacy features, store only department and role, no user identification and feedback, proper LLS policies, anonymous data integration, which will be handled. Privacy features. The AI will analyze this data, but it's important that it not be evident which user submitted data after it's analyzed. All right, let's try it. See if it works. Implementing the multi-step feedback form component. Would you like me to implement that now? Yes. Okay, it looks like we got everything fixed. Looks like we have multiple errors. Here are the error logs. Okay, I'm gonna go get a cup of tea. Be back in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes actually, to heat the hot water. Hopefully this works. Okay, I'm back and I have a much bigger mug of tea this time. Let's get back into it. So, looks like we have figured out the issues, import app, debug, analysis. And sometimes you just want to ask like direct questions, which maybe don't theoretically make sense at the time. There we go. So like the actual indexing of this doesn't make sense because it's right inside of the app, right? So the share your feedback, and let's actually just test this functionality. Looks good. Yes, I completed my task. There should be a section for no, I didn't. No, okay. And the feedback section is empty. The share your feedback section should be where you ask all of your questions and get feedback from your team. Right now, it's on the index page. If we haven't already, create a committed feedback page where we ask the questions I outlined in my previous prompt. Let's see if we can get that working. Try to fix. The other thing too is, as long as once your code base is the more complicated your code base gets, obviously, the more complicated or the more bugs are going to pop up. And this is where becoming an engineer would be so much more valuable, because you could actually jump into that code base and figure out what the hell is going on. I can't do that, unfortunately, because I don't know how to code shit. So that's why I'm doing it this way. All right, so share your feedback. How satisfied are you? And then the questions need to be focused on work. Actually, a few issues I'm seeing with the feedback page. 1, the top navigation isn't present. That top nav should be on all pages of the app. 2, the questions need to be focused on work. In my previous prompt, I gave more detail about how these questions should be posed. Look at that prompt and make the appropriate changes. Even though it would understand those misspellings, that's fine. And let's just go through here. On question 2, it's important to also add a no section, and if the no section is clicked on, produce a text prompt so the employee can explain why that didn't happen. 4, we want to be able to include a really good end section. Actually, I'm going to work on that in a little bit. Work on that, and let's see where we are at. Needed to add some other stuff. Before people submit their data, their survey responses, I want a pop-up at the beginning saying the following message. Also, I had better descriptors for each question previous prompt. Please add those descriptors to the questions. There we go. So it's going to refactor, and then it's going to do two other things. Okay, it's going to add the welcome dialog box. Amazing. Everyone who participates gets access to the AI to ask their own questions about the company. Amazing. Begin feedback. How satisfied are you? Rate your overall work satisfaction. Consider your task collaboration and achievements. Yes. Did you complete the primary work task for reflecting your main objectives, whether you achieved what you did or set out to do? Okay. Any additional feedback? Share your thoughts, team collaboration, resources, or suggestions for improvement. Great. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Submit feedback. Great. All right. After you submit feedback, you should be brought to the analysis page so you can analyze the company results. Now let's build the next section here, which is the analysis dashboard. Next, I need you to build the analysis. Next, actually, I'll just cut and paste it. Boom. Next, create an analysis dashboard. I always try to be pleasant with these AIs because, to be completely honest with you, when they do kill humanity in the next 20 years, hopefully they'll remember that I was pleasant with them, and maybe they'll just let me hang out in their zoo. I'm only half serious about that, by the way. Everything. Okay, that works. Next page works, but no top nav. Onboarding page works, but no nav. Why is the top nav not working? That's really weird. Numbers are working, that's great. I've implemented comprehensive analytics dashboard. Note: to complete the AI analysis feature, you need to implement the AI endpoint. Would you like me to help you implement that? Well, yes, but just not right now because all this stuff is broke. I've also found sometimes with Lovable, copying and pasting all of the runtime errors is more helpful to it than just clicking the try to fix it button. I know they're trying to make the UI really simple, but doesn't seem to work. And you can also add in the console logs, which is what I showed you before. Change to fix the errors. Changes should be resolved with React hooks and JavaScript. It's not quite finished yet. Cool. The top navigation links have disappeared across all the pages on the site, on the web app. Please make sure that those top nav, the top nav is accessible on all pages. Sometimes the usability, it's like weird little things happen, like the top nav disappears. I noticed the top nav navigation has disappeared. No, I told you that, Mr. Lovable. A layout component that includes the header and wraps all routes. Great. Don't even know what that is. Hey, hey. Come on, baby. There we go. All right, let's go through everything. Home, which would make sense. Give feedback. Great. It's 5, yeah. Yes, I completed it. Liam is really sexy and I think he's great. Submit feedback. Boom, which just brings you back to that. That doesn't make sense. Analysis, look at this. Amazing. Show logs. Should I fix that? Will be automatically deployed. You can now analyze feedback data through the dashboard. Amazing. Look at that. That's so cool. All right. Every time you complete a brand new stage, like a brand new page or something like that, it's probably a good idea just to navigate through the entire site to see if you've broken anything, because then you can revert back. So there's this history tab that you can click on to revert to different versions whenever you want. And if something is really broken that you can't get away from, then you can revert back. This is all based off of GitHub's repos. So you can, it's pretty easy, to be honest with you, to be able to go back to previous versions, which is great. Build unsuccessful. Couldn't deploy Superbase functions. Why? Try to fix. Okay. Related to missing type definitions in the database types files. Let's fix this step by step. The first error seems to be unrelated to the type errors and might be resolved after we fix the type issues. Perfect. We need to add the missing profile. Type export, fix the database. I've created a new database.types.ts file that exports the necessary types that updated all the data. The first error about failed to exec command might be related to the edge function or API call. Once these types errors are fixed, we can better diagnose that issue. If it persists, let me know if you still see that error after these changes. We do. Or we see a better one. Try to fix. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. And this is what you would do when you're literally programming stuff on your own, which is pretty cool, without any AI assistance. So it's pretty neat to be able to see this as it stands now. All right. high overall satisfaction levels, tasks completed, challenges. Under the AI analysis section, we need to be able to ask questions. Also, I think we need to integrate with an AI tool. I think ChatGPT will be good enough. How do we start to work on that? And then the AI should look at your job role, your department, completion rate, and all the connected sentiment analysis, all the sentiment analysis from the text you input and how that interrelates to the success, to the feedback across the company. Okay. Relates. Let's get that started. Now I'm going to actually get my API key from OpenAI. Separately. Add API key. Let's build a new. That secret key. Build was unsuccessful. Maybe we should try to fix this before. And oof, looks like it's long and complicated. In the meantime, add API key. There we go. I'm going to submit that. And that's literally how easy it is, by the way, guys. I just added the API key and bam, now you can basically send information to ChatGPT to be able to do an analysis on anything, which is very cool. The analysis function by creating the edge function and updating the AI analysis components. Getting quite long, 162 lines. We should consider refactoring it into smaller components in the future for better maintainability. Let's try. How many employees are currently giving feedback? Two entries for employees in the marketing department. However, it's important to note that these are entries represent feedback from two distinct instances rather than confirming the number of unique. Okay. In the AI section, can I create a continuous chat log? So I ask a question. It's entered into the text prompt section below, and then I get the response, and I can ask another question inline. Additionally, can I also get can I also customize the GPT, the AI GPT, with specific instructions before responding? Responding. So a user can analyze data with specific instructions beforehand. Instructions for the AI beforehand. Boom. Okay, so I have now updated the AI analysis component, and it should be working. Let me just see. So act as an HR manager expert and analyze, not analyze how people should analyze all the HR data that you have access to, and how different team members might be feeling / acting that could provide valuable insights to everyone. Take into consideration that all of this feedback should be anonymous. So do not directly quote any feedback you might encounter as an example. Boom. All right, I'm gonna grab that. Okay, and then how happy are the team members in this data? How happy is everybody? How happy is everybody? Based on the feedback provided and the sentiment in the marketing department, appears to be quite positive overall. Both entries relating to happiness 5 out of 5. This suggests that, at least for their respondents, they feel very satisfied with their work. Okay, great. And then I would probably also say, be concise in your responses unless asked for more, unless users want more in-depth responses. Okay, I'm gonna grab that. And this is just an example, right? Like, let's see. How happy is everybody with their work? Let's see if this works. hide instructions. Thinking. Data view provided. Let's make it more concise. Be very concise in your responses. How happy is everybody with their work? Might be that this is not connected. Oh yeah, that seems like it works. It's getting more and more concise. All right, cool. Under the AI instructions, you should have the following instructions for all users, unless they want to edit information. Boom. Enter. That way, whenever someone starts up a version of this, it will always just be running in that way, or the instructions will always be running like that. Let's do that. Great. And look at that. Hide instructions. Fantastic. All right. We have a good tool here that allows you to pick specific dates. That's cool. That's also cool. Everything seems to be working. Let's go back to the main UI. That's about it. I can give feedback whenever I want. 5-star. Yes, I completed my tasks. Rob Rawson, the CEO of the company, is a big problem. And even though I'm super happy with my job, I'd be even more happy if he effed off. LOL. Submit feedback. Boom. Go to the analysis. Let's see. Are there any big problems with the company, with team members that you can see? Based on the feedback you have provided, there are a few insights regarding potential issues within the marketing department. Mixed task completion, notable instance of tasks not being completed, high happiness rate, leadership concerns. One comment indicates satisfaction of the CEO, which could reflect broader concerns. Hilarious. So that's it. Basically, we're done. If you're interested, you can sign up for this. It is completely and utterly free until I run out of credits for ChatGPT, which probably, I think maybe I'll have like $20 worth that I'll just kind of toss in here. If you're interested in playing with it long term, happy to be able to give this to your staff and have you guys sign up for it. I might do a couple other little things to it. And if you're interested in adding anything else, please let me know. But otherwise, all the prompts are down below. Check it out, sign up, and just kind of feel it out and try it yourself. I think this is very cool because essentially I think I'm at maybe about 2.5 hours of me doing this. I don't know, there's a timer somewhere around here that can tell you how far I've actually, or how long I've been working on this. And I think this is a complete game changer. 2 years ago, this would have been completely impossible to build, and or it would have cost our engineering team about $100,000 for this initial build. So very exciting to be able to see it. And if you're interested in that, check out all the other videos that we have on this channel. We talk about this stuff all day long. And if you like this stuff, if you like these types of tutorials, please let me know down below. If you want to learn more about artificial intelligence, please let me know. I'm personally very passionate about this stuff, and I think it could be very, very cool for a lot of other people to be able to learn, as I am putting in the vast majority of my energy into this particular thing. See you later. Bye.